gotta go this way, gotta go this way. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. Oh, you're an idiot. Oh.
It's episode 39 of Podemup. We're rounding off the year by playing the lesser-known PS1 sort of puzzle game No One Can Stop Mr. Domino. Then, it's time for the annual end-of-year Podemup Awards. Which of the games that we've been playing in 2021 will scoop up the most votes? Find out in Podemup. Hello, welcome to episode 39 of Podemup. My name is Ollie. I'm joined by Tibbs.
Hello there.
Hello. Yes, episode 39, last one of the year, the Christmas episode. Are you feeling merry or?
Yeah, as merry as I get.
Yeah, it does get a bit the same every year, you know. After a while, doing the old Christmas thing.
I think it's being a grown-up, isn't it?
It is being a grown-up, yeah. When you've got a kid, you kind of got to hype everything up, you know, because obviously Alice is really excited about it. But yeah, kind of sort of behind that inside, you kind of feel like, it's just another Christmas, isn't it?
It's just, yeah. You don't even get much time off work. You know, I think
No.
I'm back at work on like the 28th.
Oh yeah, oh right.
I think so. Yeah, so I get like no time off at all. Really.
Yeah,
So it's
well, luckily my work, we have the whole bit in between off, and I
that's
save
nice.
some of my leave the week leading up, mainly so that I don't get stuck with someone else's work, basically, because everyone else just leaves as soon as they can, so I don't really want to get stuck with anyone else's work. But anyway, so we've got a big show.
Yeah.
We've got the Podemup Awards, naturally, being the last episode of the year. Everyone's talking about which game is going to take the number one spot.
I know. I think we were trending worldwide on Twitter for a period there.
The Game Awards, that was us, wasn't it? Yeah, definitely. A lot of people
well,
talking
I
about it.
assume that's what people were talking
Oh
about.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, must have
Can't
been.
think of anything else going on.
No. Well, we'll get to that later. That's very exciting. In the meantime, what have you been playing since the last episode?
Grand Theft Auto.
Ah, which one?
San Andreas.
Oh, cool. Oh, the remaster.
No, absolutely not. No, wouldn't touch him with a barge pole. But it did give me a hankering for Grand Theft Auto. So I've been playing the original one on PS2.
Okay.
Still holds up. It's still a very good game.
Good.
There are a few frustrations that I'd forgotten about. Like particularly relating to if you fail a mission, sometimes it'll give you go to a mission marker at like one end of the map, and the San Andreas map is huge. And if you fail the mission, you've got to go back to the starting point, where so you could go back to your save point, like your home base, to pick up the mission there, and then you've got to go all the way back again. You can't just restart the mission.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
that's
one of those modern things that have come along since that. Yeah. You kind of miss, don't you? Yeah. And
like the auto aim, like when you're in like gunfights and things, when you press R1 to lock onto a target, sometimes it'll just point you in a complete opposite direction. And I don't know why it's doing it. I don't know if it's I don't know. I think the controller's fine. I can't think of any technical reason why it would be happening. Because when I first played San Andreas, I played it on the PC, so I never really had that issue. But it's the first time playing it on the console, so I don't know if that's just a console thing. But
right,
it's a few quality of life frustrations that could do with fixing. But the remasters sound like hot garbage.
They do, don't they? Yeah, there's a lot of a lot of issues with them, isn't there?
Dreadful, yeah. Really,
I don't know
really
if they've
bad.
fixed those minor issues that you just mentioned, have they? Or have they
I
addressed
think,
things like that?
yeah, I think they have. I think they have. I think the mission, you can restart a mission from the pause menu now, I think.
Yeah.
So if you fail it, you could just restart from the beginning of the mission, which is nice.
Mm.
They just broke everything else. So,
Oh dear.
but yeah, that's been taking up the majority of my time because obviously it's
Okay.
quite a chunky game, so I've been
Yes. Yeah.
pouring
Yeah.
quite a bit of time into that one.
Okay.
And obviously our book club pick.
Yeah.
I've been playing a bit of that.
No one can stop Mr. Domino. By
No
the
one
way,
can stop
we
Mr.
haven't
Domino. Yes,
mentioned that.
yes. Yeah, I'll save what my thoughts on that till we get to that
Yeah.
bit in the show. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been playing a great deal this month. I've been playing little bits of things. I've been getting into the Sega Rally series this month
Oh, okay.
because I had the original with my Saturn. It was one of the first games I got in the bundle. I mean, it takes like 5 minutes to play through, but it's so fun. Have you played it much?
Yeah, I
or?
love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love the physics of it. It's just so there's something sort of really loose and fun about just simply steering the car and controlling it around the corners and things.
Yeah.
Really good. I've been playing Sega Rally 2, and Sega Rally Revo. This is the newer one that came out, I don't know, just over 10 years ago, I think.
Oh, I know the one you mean. I've not played that one.
Sometimes it's just called Sega Rally, but sometimes
Yeah.
it's called Sega Rally Revo. I don't really know why. It was on the 360
360. Yeah.
arcade, I think. I've been playing them all on PC. You can actually get all of the PC versions through archive.org.
Okay.
They're sort of listed as abandonware, technically. So, and people have updated them for modern Windows. So I've been playing them all through that. Just having a really, really good time with them, really. I've been trying to... I've never been able to unlock the Lakeside course, which is the last one that you can get, sort of the unlockable course in the original, if you get first place in the previous 3 tracks. I've been trying to do that. The best I can do is 5th. It's quite hard.
I was going to say, I didn't even know there was an unlockable thing. I've never been that good at it.
No, I haven't either. I've never got there, but it's been a sort of thing I've been chipping away at every other night,
Yeah. Thing is, it's one of those games. Outrun's got the same thing about it. I'm not very good at it, but that doesn't stop it being fun.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's what I really like about that.
Yeah. You don't get that if you don't like finish the thing, you don't get the disappointment. It's just like it's so quick and easy. You just start it up again, and it's just really good. And you just want to get better and better at it each time, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, really good game, really good. Final Fantasy 9. Haven't got much further than that, unfortunately. I did get through Gizmaluke's Grotto.
Oh, Gizmaluke's Grotto.
Yeah, I did get through that eventually.
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I sort of put it off for a little while, but I managed to get through it. I'm on the other side now in Burmasia.
Oh, yeah.
The rainy city. So I'm working through that at the moment. Other than that, I started a game I got for my birthday earlier in the year, Devil May Cry 5.
Okay.
I've never played anything in the series, so I'm a bit lost in
played
terms
the
of
first 3.
Oh, have you? I was a bit lost in terms of the story and the characters, because it kind of toddles along, assuming that you know about what it's talking about, but I have no idea really. So I just kind of go along for the gameplay really. But it's fun, it's sort of simple hack and slash kind of stuff. The really good bosses. I mean, I haven't played that much into it, but I got it because I enjoyed the boss in the demo, which is kind of like this big monster thing that you fight in this cathedral, and it's all sort of crumbling around you, and I was quite impressed by that. So I've done that now, and I've done a couple more levels since then. But yeah, it's fun. I don't think I probably won't see it through to the end. I think it's just it'll keep me busy for a little while, and then I'll probably just park it. But yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's strange that the Devil May Cry series was spun off of Resident Evil, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't really know much about it, to be honest.
Yeah, the original Devil May Cry was it was like the original gameplay was like it was based on the prototype for Resident Evil 4,
Right.
and they decided this doesn't really feel much like Resident Evil, so
No.
let's just make its own thing, and that's where it came from apparently. So
That's news to me.
yeah, Crying Devils.
Yeah. I haven't really been playing anything else. The only thing I got listed is I've been working through my Sonic Advent Calendar, of course.
Oh yeah, how'd you get on with that?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. At the time of recording, this is the 11th of December, so I'm I've almost finished the base, so I haven't actually started on the Sonic bit yet. I'm guessing I'll get his shoes like tomorrow or the next day, I think. It's good, it's nice. Some bits fit together more sturdily than others. Like the base is made of 3 different bits, and they fit together really well. They're nice and solid. But then you put the snow on top, and it just sort of sits on top. It will lift off very easily. And then the snowboard itself doesn't seem to stay on very well. You could knock it off really easily. And of course, that's got to support Sonic as well. So I don't know how that's going to work.
I'm going to say, is it the sort of thing where maybe when all the bits are on top of it as well, it'll all sort of click in place?
But hopefully, yeah. I mean, it seems to be, quite a decent bit of kit. And it's just, other than that, it's quite solid, nicely made. All the bits, fit together quite well. It's a bugger to get out though. So those bits, so it's not made for like the average finger size of a male adult Sonic fan. Like the little tabs, they're clearly sort of child finger size, so it's tough to get those open to begin with. And then when you get them, they're sort of molded into the plastic really well. It's really hard to dig them out. Some of them.
The thing is, you got to get Alice to do it. Then
I've tried to get it.
You open it. Oh, Daddy, can I have the bit? No, you just open the door.
For me, you open the door.
Yours is over there.
That's right, yeah. I've tried to use like a pair of scissors to kind of wedge it out, but I've actually damaged one of the bits doing that, so I've had to be really... I know. Well, not too much, just a little tiny scratch, and luckily it's on the end that faces away from you. But, I have to be really careful trying to get the other bits out. But, it's a nice thing to sort of build up every day. It's quite exciting to see what you get and everything.
Yeah. I didn't get it in the end. I ummed and ahed about it, and then by the time I thought about it, and I was about to do it, and I just thought, no, I just can't stretch to it at the moment. And I think it's one of those things I'm going to kick myself for doing, because it looks really nice. But...
Yeah, I mean, it's £40, so it's a fair... I think it's 40, wasn't it? It's a fair chunk. I decided to treat myself, because I haven't really treated myself for much else recently, so I thought I'll get that. But, yeah, it's
I think if I'd have found out about it a couple of months earlier, I'd have probably gone for it. But, I just found out about it too late, really. Hopefully there'll be some stock left over, going cheap during the year.
Yeah, it might be.
And then... You
can just have a pretend Christmas.
I'll have a pretend advent in March.
Yeah, sounds good. So that's all I've been doing there, really. We could carry on with the news if you like.
Yeah, let's do it.
News. So it turns out this Game Awards thing wasn't to do with us at all. It was some other event that was going on. I think we should call them up about a copyright infringement, don't you?
I'd get the lawyers on it, certainly.
Yeah, get the lawyers. Yeah. So obviously, Game Awards, Sonic Movie 2 trailer was shown.
Yeah.
Did you catch it?
I did.
Did you like it?
I did like it a lot.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned before, like when we talked about it, I was really a bit sceptical about Tails and Knuckles being in it, because I thought, like, having Sonic interacting with like normal people, live action, that kind of worked. But I thought with Tails and Knuckles as well, it might start looking a bit uncanny and a bit... I don't know how well it would all gel, but it looked really good.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it looks like, apart from some technical advances and some more modern tweaks, it looks like the kind of movie that would have come out like in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like sort of an adaptation of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, it looks like, doesn't it? Vaguely.
Yeah, definitely. And there's some a few little nods to Sonic Adventure as well, with him up on the skyscrapers and the sewers, spurting water out and all little visual nods to the games and stuff. Yeah, really.
And I love that they put that attention in, because they didn't need to. If you're making a movie about a video game, quite often, they don't put those details in. They don't really bother. They're just trying to they take some of the basics and they just build a movie and go in a different direction. So it's nice that someone there at least is kind of looking and seeing what we can do to make the fan base really appreciate this. And they've done really well. I was listening to a podcast where they interviewed one of the writers for the Sonic movie and Sonic the second one, and he's clearly a Sonic fan. He's got a lot of the lore down and everything. So he's been able to put these things in that another writer might not do. So it's great, and you can really see it through that trailer.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
yeah, I think so.
And Idris Elba as Knuckles, really good.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
fits him really, because that's another thing I was like, I don't know is he really going to sound like Knuckles? But I'm all in. I think it looks great.
Yeah, yeah, and doing the rounds at the Twitter at the moment is like he's supposedly gone really deep into like Sonic lore
Yeah.
to learn about Knuckles and his
Yeah.
motivations, which is so cool. I love that Idris Elba is looking at Sonic lore.
It's
You know.
so cool, but you know what the Sonic fan base is like, and
Yeah.
there's some weird stuff out there.
Oh, there
There's
is.
some
Yeah, I'm
really
hoping
odd.
he's.
I hope he's not digging into like some of the odder fan fictions out there.
Yeah, I don't think. I think he'll keep it official. You would hope.
Stay away from DeviantArt.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, even officially, like Knuckles' character has changed a lot over the years. So it's
Yeah,
nice that it looks like they're sticking to like almost the original vision of Knuckles as a real sort of tough, serious, kind of badass guy.
Yeah.
By the looks of it, doesn't it? So
And
really
it settles the argument about whether the white tuft was a necklace or a patch of fur.
Yeah,
It's obviously a patch of fur.
patch of fur. Yeah, yeah. I think it was Sonic the comic that misinterpreted it.
I was going to say, I think that was Sonic the comic that did that. Wasn't it?
There was a few things they misinterpreted because they
Wasn't
only.
I think there was some Sonic box art. Was it for like the Sonic Knuckles PC or where it was very it wasn't clearly a necklace, but it wasn't clearly fur either. It was a bit ambiguous,
possibly.
and it's like so it's
I think in those old days they didn't really have a lot of information to go on. They would have just one image, to work from. So they, it's difficult to blame them for misinterpreting things.
Oh yeah. It's like Kirby on the we keep coming back to Kirby, don't we?
We do, yeah.
Kirby on the original Game Boy, it looks completely different because they didn't have any reference to go on. It was just told, right, he's like a blob and he sort of flies. Just do what you can with that, and completely doesn't look anything like Kirby.
There's that famous Mega Man.
Yes,
isn't it? It's one where it's just like a spaceman with a gun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, I did also with Sonic. I took some comprehensive notes on the Sonic Frontiers trailer.
Okay.
That they did. I went through it frame by frame, and I've hours of painstaking research onto it. I'm going to give you a list now of everything that we know about Sonic Frontiers based on that trailer alone. Okay, so let me just check my notes. It's got Sonic in it.
Yep. Tick.
But that's it. That's what I've got. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it didn't. It was nice to see the world that they're going for, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it didn't really tell us anything that we didn't already know unofficially. We kind of unofficially knew it was going to be an open world game, which is what the graphics suggest. And we knew it was going to be called Sonic Frontiers recently. But yeah, I mean, I'm quite interested about an open world Sonic game. I think it could work quite well. I'm hopeful for it. I'm glad that we're at least in a different area, not just Green Hill and Chemical Plant again. That's a plus. They're actually trying something new. So I want to see more though. I don't.
I think I had a bit of a moan on Twitter about it, but I hate cinematic trailers. Show me gameplay.
Yeah.
If you're gonna, it's the Game Awards. It's about things that ostensibly we're going to be playing. So show us what we're going to be playing. I can't really get excited about just a pre-rendered, cinematic. It's like.
Well, to be fair, I don't think the environmental footage was pre-rendered. I think that was in game.
Was it?
Yeah. All the environmental shots. I think that was all the game stuff.
Okay.
To be fair. There's a lot of pre-rendered footage of Sonic running and everything, but a lot of that game stuff, if you look closely, it looks like the
I'll watch that again then. I'll watch that again.
Obviously, you didn't watch this frame by frame analysis was not quite as thorough as you made that.
Yes. Okay.
So, yeah.
You caught me in a lie, but I will say. All snarkiness aside, did the the badniks. I presume they're badniks. The little robot things that were chasing them, the little things. They seem to be quite similar to the movie style, I thought. It seemed to be more to the style of the sort of Robotnik kind of creations from the movie than previous games.
Possibly.
Was that just me, or?
No, I'm getting a sense that this is more of a sort of a high-tech look to things. Yeah. I mean, the styles do change from now and then.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Sonic
yeah,
06 had similar badnik styles, didn't it?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
So, very Breath of the Wild, I got, sort of both the look of it and also the sort of that piano-ish music was very similar to Breath of the Wild as well. They're obviously seeking inspiration for that, for their sort of open world ideas. Should be coming out next Christmas time, and the next year, so it's got a long way yet.
Yeah, I was out of the two Sonic things, I was more excited about the movie than the game.
Oh yeah, I think undeniably you would be, wouldn't you? Because it's just so
there's
awesome.
More to get into there, I think.
Yeah. Did you notice that also in the trailer, the music towards the end was Emerald Hill Zone?
Oh, I didn't know.
Give it another listen. It's like a cinematic version of Emerald Hill. It's great.
Oh, great! Yeah, I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Was there anything else at the Game Awards?
I did have a look through, but there was nothing else that interested me.
No, I can't. I don't think there was.
I didn't stay up for it because it was at like 1 a.m. our time, so I didn't stay up and sit through it.
I was up and I started watching one of the live streams, and it was just some bloke singing.
Was it? Right.
I'm not really interested in this, and then I watched it again later, and there's someone else singing.
Oh, what?
And I was like, well, what's all this? What's all this?
Yeah, I mean that's even worse than a cinematic trailer, isn't it? I mean that's literally just a guy singing. It's nothing even to do with the game.
No, I know. It makes it, as we said that before about when it was it Ghost of Tsushima? It was just some guy playing the flute.
Just playing the
flute. Oh dear, no need for it. Right, let me just having a look, see if there were any quick game list of the games. Hang on. Biggest announcements and reveals. Suicide Squad, not interested. Wonder Woman, not interested. Star Wars Eclipse, I suppose it could be alright, but they didn't really show anything as a cinematic trailer.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2, could be good, but it's not out till 2023, and I haven't got PS5 anyway, and I doubt I will by 2023.
You may not even be able to get one by then. No.
Hellblade 2, not that interested. I played Hellblade. Have you played Hellblade?
No.
I don't want to. I don't want to. It's not really a spoiler of the game because it's this aspect of the game. You find out within the first 5 minutes of playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So you play a character who suffers from mental illness. I think it's meant to be like schizophrenia, or something of that description. And she hears voices in her head all the time. So you go around the level, and the voices in her head are going like, "Oh, gotta go this way, gotta go this way. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. Oh, you're an idiot. Oh," and it's really annoying. It's really, really annoying.
Right.
And I don't want to sound unsympathetic to anyone who suffers from such a condition. I'm sure it is really annoying, and they've accurately portrayed it in the game. But enough. By the end of the first level, okay, I get it. I get it.
Is that throughout the whole game, do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure it's throughout the whole game.
Wow.
It just wasn't. Maybe it just wasn't for me. I really wanted to like it, but so yeah, Hellblade 2. I might skip that. Apparently that's everything. That's the biggest announcements and reveals. So
yeah. Okay. Definitely the Sonic stuff for us then, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely the Sonic stuff. I got to admit, I still hold out a tiny little bit of hope that there's going to be a Sonic Mania 2, and I hoped, especially with the celebration of Sonic's anniversary, and everything's been a bit delayed because of COVID. So I thought they might have had a secret little thing up their sleeve that they were going to bring out, and
Yeah. But, supposedly it's not happening, is it? And we would have heard about it by now, I think, wouldn't we?
I'd have thought so. Something would have leaked.
They've missed the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, the Sonic stuff was a highlight, I think,
I
for
mean,
me.
to be fair, until a few days ago, I didn't even know the Game Awards was happening, and I didn't even know that it was a place where trailers happened. I figured they just read out a bunch of awards for the best games, much like we're going to do later. So I mean,
Oh no,
it's not like a
no, I mean
Nintendo Direct or
it's
anything. So,
been derisively called the game ads
is
for
it?
many years now
Okay,
because it's more of an advertising get together than it is
an
an
awards thing.
actual award ceremony. But
Oh, right. To be fair, this is the first year that's ever had anything that I've taken notice of. So
yeah,
yeah, okay. Right. Any other news has happened since last episode? I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything.
No.
I mean, we've said that before, and then I always think of
Yeah.
something afterwards. But no, I think we've got quite a packed show to get through,
We
though.
do.
So
We'll crack on, shall
we
we?
should crack on. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Domino. Apparently, no one can stop him. Is that
No,
what
I've
they
heard
say?
that.
Yeah. Did you stop him, or?
No.
I mean, I stopped him just because I was quite bad at the game, but that's a surefire way of stopping him.
I stopped him with the power button.
Yes.
But
Well,
okay.
yeah, we'll get to it. So, yeah, Mr. Domino, we're talking about him right after the break.
The Video Game Book Club.
Right, we're back. So, No One Can Stop Mr. Domino
Nope.
was released for the PlayStation 1 in January 98 in Japan, September in Europe, and November in America. It was developed by Art Dink, who
Great name.
yeah, good name, very good name. I looked them up. They've done loads and loads of games, but they're almost all of them are specific to Japan,
Yeah.
and I've never really heard of any of them.
No.
But the list just goes on and on and on. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's a huge list.
Published in Japan by Art Dink, but published in the US by Acclaim and JVC Music in Europe. Seems to be relatively rare over here. A quick look on eBay. There weren't many. They were sort of going for £50 and upwards, maybe.
Yeah.
I think US versions seem to be a little bit more common, maybe a little bit less. But yeah, it's a little bit under the radar game at the time, was it? Or...
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, it came out. I mean, 1998 was a big year for PlayStation.
Yes,
So
yes.
there were so many big releases that year. I don't think many people. I don't think I ever remember seeing it in a shop. I don't remember ever walking into like Game, or it would have been the Electronics Boutique back then, walking into a shop and seeing it on the shelf. It was all sort of Gran Turismo tech and all that kind of stuff taking up the shelf space. So yeah, it
Yeah.
really flew under the radar, I think.
When you mentioned it last month, I thought I was familiar with it, but I think I was just thinking of another game, maybe Glover.
Yeah.
Which I do remember from back in the day, but I don't. Having played this and having seen like the box art and things, I don't think I remember this from back in the day. In
We should
hindsight.
we should cover Glover.
Yeah, it's like that's more of a
one.
traditional 3D platform, isn't it? Which is what I thought this was, because I think I was thinking of that. But this is more of a puzzle game, actually. So that's what it's described. But it's quite difficult to pigeonhole into a genre, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
it
really is.
It's not really like anything else.
No,
is
no,
it?
it's completely. Yeah, it's its own thing. I watched you playing it on Twitch.
Did you? Yeah.
I didn't. I wasn't around for the live stream, but I caught the VOD on it.
I had no idea what I was doing for like most of that. I literally couldn't figure it out. Because the thing about this is the thing when you're playing like ROMs in particular and just games that you get without the instruction manuals. In those old days, they actually used those instruction manuals to explain how the game is played. They didn't do it in game. And this is probably the best example I've ever seen of that, because it literally tells you nothing about the game at all.
If you don't know what you're doing, if you haven't got an explanation of what you're supposed to be doing, it is completely impenetrable.
It is, yeah. I did end up looking on Wikipedia, I think, didn't I, on the actual stream, just to get even a hint of what to do. So basically, you're Mr. Domino or Mrs. Domino, who's a little anthropomorphic domino with a face and arms and legs, basically.
Yeah, a little cowlick.
Yeah, and they're running around a level, sort of a predefined path in a level that loops back around, sort of with a kind of isometric-ish viewpoint, I would say. It's 3D. It's all 3D, but it's that's the kind of view, and it sort of stays that way. So you're running along this path, and you can switch left and right to sort of almost change lanes within the path. The lanes aren't visible, but you can kind of move between, say, 3 or 4 different positions in the path to dodge obstacles. And if you press any of the buttons, the sort of the face buttons, you will produce a sort of a static domino behind you, and you can hold the button to produce a long line of them. And then as you run around, you'll notice that there are little tiles on the floor, and the idea is that you set a load of dominoes up leading up to these tiles, and then when you come round the loop again, you're supposed to hit the dominoes, the first domino. They all come crashing down, and then activate the tile. That's the only way to activate the tiles.
Yeah.
Using the dominoes that you've laid down, and that will produce like an animation in the level, often quite sort of wacky, sort of Japanesey kind of animations that then produce more obstacles.
Yeah.
It's
kind of
level.
like I don't know. Did you ever play with Domino Rally when you were a kid? The little Domino Rally sets?
No, I don't think so. The name rings a bell.
Yeah, it's kind of these little.
I'm just remembering what it looks like now.
Yeah, you set things up, and the dominoes would knock into things, and you go round and round, and then it would set off like a little rocket at the end, or like pop into the air. And there was all different ones. They all did different things. Yeah. It's kind of like as well Rube Goldberg machines, where you'll hit a ball will roll into something, and that'll knock a ball bearing down a spiral, and that'll roll into something. And that's what these trick tiles, often do. You'll hit that, and then it'll set off this chain reaction of events to knock down more dominoes, and it's really satisfying when you get it going.
Oh, it is, yeah. I could never get really long enough chain, because it was only when I was composing the notes for this game, and I was looking on YouTube, and I realised that you can actually... in order to complete a level, you need to trigger all of the tiles that are in the level. It was only when I was looking on YouTube that I realised you can do it all with one hit of the domino. Like you can set them all up so that the dominoes lead up to the first tile, that activates, and then the thing that happens will cause things to come onto the level. And if you've got a domino at where they're going to hit, I think there's a little marker that indicates where they're going, so you get a bit of a clue. But if these things come onto the level, they will hit these dominoes that you've set up, and then that will lead to the activation of the next tile. Yeah, and it's like a chain reaction, which looked very, very satisfying. I must admit.
And this is what I was going to mention when I mentioned the game earlier. I looked it up on YouTube as well, just to refresh my memory of any bits that I might have missed, or just because I didn't get a chance to play today. So I thought, quick refresher, see what's there. And I noticed there's a quote-unquote long play. Someone complete the game in 20 minutes.
Yeah. That might have been the one I saw, actually, yeah.
It's like, I'm not good enough to play I couldn't do the first level in 20 minutes.
No. I mean, you saw the playthrough. I was stuck on that thing for ages. And I thought, this is the first level. And I was thinking of, modern day puzzle games generally have loads and loads of levels, don't they?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, God, how many levels are in this if I'm spending an hour on this first one? There's only 6 in this game, luckily. And it really sort of chucks you in at the deep end, I think. That's how I felt anyway, not knowing what to do. Because it's a tough game. It's really tough.
It is, yeah. It's really tough. Even when you know what you're doing, it's difficult.
Yeah, because there is a time limit. And the time limit wasn't very clear. It sort of just kind of happened I could suddenly start. It's just suddenly started saying hurry up, and I could never figure out what the factor in that was. I know I could pick up health packs to restore some of my time, but do you have any insight as to how that works, that mechanism?
What the timer?
Yeah. The limit of the level, basically.
Not really. I mean, I do. I know your character's got a stamina level.
Yeah.
And I think the health restores your stamina, doesn't it?
Yeah. Does it depend on how many things you run into then, does it? Or is it a time-based thing?
I think it's a time-based thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a time-based thing, because there's pads that speed you up and pads that slow you down.
Yes.
And I've noticed that if I get slow, but then I don't know actually. Maybe I'm second guessing myself now, because I seem to had the impression that when I was hit the slowdown pads, I seemed to, because just so people know, the stamina you've got, your character's got like a stamina level. Mr. Domino's got a stamina, but doesn't have like a gauge or anything visible on the screen. He just kind of gets darker, like fades a dark color as he loses stamina.
I didn't even notice that. I didn't get any indication of how much more time I had left. I didn't.
No, as he gets more tired and his stamina goes down, he gets darker and darker and darker.
Yeah.
And then when he's pure Domino white, that's when he's sort of full energy.
Right. Yeah.
I felt like when I hit the slowdown pads, I seemed to get darker quicker, but I don't know whether that was my imagination or not. Because as with many things in the game, it's a bit obtuse.
It's not apparent at all. No, you really have to. It's almost a puzzle just figuring out the rules of the game.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that far. I think I did the first 3 levels, and I got to the 4th. I sort of stopped having fun at that point.
Yeah.
Just because it was quite, taxing.
Yes.
So what is your history with this game? Is this a thing you had back in the day, or is it a more recent kind of game? Why did you pick it?
No, I picked it because I got it on a demo disc. It was featured on one of the demo discs for the official PlayStation magazine.
Yeah.
And I played it, and my first experience with it was exactly like your playing it on the Twitch stream.
Yeah.
And I just remember being so utterly bewildered with it. And it's just one of those games because I didn't play it for years after that, but it always stuck in my head.
Right.
This Mr. Domino game, and I went back to it years later, and I got to figure out what that game was actually about. And I played it, and again, same thing, just not sure what's going on. And then when I, obviously read, the manual and what's going on and what I'm supposed to do, and then it all started to click. And I find it quite it's a difficult game, and I think the difficulty comes from how much of itself it doesn't make clear, how much it hides. Yeah. I think it could do with a lot of polishing, but I did find it quite a charming game. It had the same kind of charm to me that things like Incredible Crisis had, and Katamari.
Yeah, it's
got that same kind of quirkiness to it. I think
it's that Japanese kind of quirkiness, isn't it? That's very, especially the 3rd level where you're running around a house.
Yes.
By the way, it's weird how when he starts, he's the scale of a normal domino. But when you get to that 3rd level, and the grocery store as well, but when he gets to that 3rd level, he's the scale of a person. What's that about? But the house one, that was, in terms of the actions, that was definitely the best one, because you kind of mess up the lives of these people that live in this house by your actions. Like, I actually listed some of them there because I thought they were really funny. So the dad, once you trigger the action that causes in whatever room the dad's in, he stands up and gets punched by this massive boxing glove that comes through the cabinet and just falls onto the playing field, I think, doesn't he? And then the mum opens the oven to find a bomb that blows up in her face. And the teenage daughter's one is the most bizarre, because
that's the weirdest one.
That's the weird one. Her clothes suddenly turn into a swimsuit, as they do, and then her teddy bear faints from too much love. I don't know.
He doesn't just faint; he gets like an explosive nosebleed and then faints. It's just really bizarre.
Oh yeah, and then he falls over.
Yeah.
And it's just, and then watching this playthrough, it became apparent that if you do all of the triggers in one go, a different thing will happen at the end Did you see this?
No,
the
no.
grandfather, normally I think a bell falls on him or something, but if you trigger him all in one go, he turns into like this incredible Hulk kind of figure, and it's the really weird looking sequence. It looks bizarre.
Oh, I'm gonna
it's
have to
worth a
watch
watch.
that.
Go back and watch it because
Yeah.
it is, that is. But it really reminded me of Katamari Damacy in particular.
Yeah.
And now that you mentioned it, Incredible Crisis, because it's just so Japanese, isn't it? It's just,
Yeah. It's just
it's just mental.
got that that charm to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that just really quirky, what the hell's going on kind of charm. Yeah.
I really wish it had. I can see why it didn't do as well as it could have done, because not only the sort of big games that it was competing against that year, but also what a weird, difficult, tricky game it is. But I wish it had done well enough to get a sequel, because I think that there's a real core of a good idea. That mechanically, if it was just tweaked and made a little bit more accessible and a few of the, just polished up a bit, it could be really good.
I think so. I think there's a good core idea there. When I was trying to work out what the idea was, it seemed very sort of convoluted to me at first. But then once you get it and you watch the dominoes fall over, you feel like this is a really logical idea. I feel like, because I wonder how they started with this. I kind of feel like they must have come up with, they looked at dominoes and thought, oh, that's a really nice mechanic. How can we get this into a game? And then kind of built it up from there.
Yeah.
I reckon that's how they did it, and then they thought, oh, well, how can we set up the dominoes? We need a character that puts the dominoes down, and then how do you then knock them over? You have to go round the circuit. You can almost see it come together when you think of it like that, can't you?
Yeah, definitely.
It is a good idea. It's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, and if you just imagine, if they say, even if they just did like a remaster of it, which seems to be the style these days.
Yeah.
If they just chucked in a few step-by-step tutorial bits, just a couple of, short tutorial sections between the first level, just to explain what's going on, and then let you go with it, I think, just that alone would make it so much more accessible for people.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're long past the chance of getting a No One Can Stop Mr. Domino 2, but
I think so, yeah.
Probably
a remaster as well, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's probably pretty low on the list of projects, but hopefully one day someone will pick up that idea and run with it.
Yeah, because it's dominoes in a game, definitely maybe not but very satisfying compared to dominoes in the real life. Especially with because watching that video, all the chain reactions and things look really, really cool. Like it hits one thing. I think like in the first level, it's particularly, I don't know. There's like a little ball that rolls round these things, and it's all takes place on a casino table, I think, doesn't it? Like a blackjack table, and all these different little things that it's very what did you call it? That
Rube Goldberg machine. Yeah,
which has come up before in the podcast, hasn't it? When we were talking about Ghost Trick, I think, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
So it was there's definitely a bit like Mischief Makers when we talked about it last month. There's some good stuff in there, but it's just not quite refined. And it's not quite
absolutely
presented in the best way.
And like you mentioned, it gets to a point where it just kind of stops being fun.
Yeah,
you stop having fun with it, and
the obstacles are too hard to avoid. There's even a reset tile in there. If you touch it, your progress gets completely erased in the level. You might as well just be get instant, death. Because it's just, it's so frustrating. I did end up using a lot of save states on this just to kind of get through, the levels, because it was really difficult.
It's really unforgiving, yeah.
You really need to learn those levels, and I think there was like a live system, isn't there? So you only get so many lives, and then that's it. You have to start.
I was going to say, I think you get 5, and then that's it. You get 5,
which is not enough to learn any of those levels, in my opinion. So you'd be starting from scratch a lot. I think.
It's a proper old school game in the sense that if you want to get onto the later levels, you're going to be replaying the first few levels over and over and over again until you can do them in your sleep.
Exactly. Which is why it only takes 20 minutes to do the whole thing if you're really, really good at it. You know,
Yeah.
there's not actual a lot of content in there. It's just practice and practice and practice, isn't it? It's one of those old school things.
Yeah.
I quite like the music. The music was sort of very typical of games at that time. I thought it's kind of like that sort of dancey kind of hip hop.
I was going to say, sort of, dancey, sort of late 90s dancey stuff.
A lot of games sort of had those kind of soundtracks at the time, so it kind of reminded me of that, which I quite liked.
Yeah, it reminded me. I don't know if you've ever played Ape Escape. That's got the same sort of.
Oh, does it? Yeah.
Yeah, sort of dancey soundtrack. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Great soundtrack.
That's kind of all I've got for it, really. It's,
well, like you said, there's not a great deal in terms of actual content to discuss. It's more
it's more trying to figure out what it is.
Figure out what it is. I should mention that the introduction sequence doesn't really help, does it?
No, I can't. You have to remind me. I've only seen it once. I can't remember how it went.
It's just them sort of. They like fly about on some casino chips, and then it's just odd. It just doesn't explain anything at all.
I know the ending movie. If you've got, I think each character has a different ending movie, and Mr. Domino's one is just him jumping off a building into a woman's pocket or something like that, and it's really weird.
So, what's your overall verdict? Would you recommend?
Yeah, I suppose I would. Yeah, just because it's so different and it's got such a good idea at its core. I wouldn't say spend really hardly any money on it at all if you can avoid it, because I wouldn't say it's something you'll necessarily keep coming back to unless you sort of get bitten by it. You might do, I don't know, but I don't think I probably wouldn't play it again at this point in my, necessarily. So I didn't fall in love with it, but it's worth a try. I think it's got an interesting idea.
Yeah, I think that's fair. If it's going for sort of £50 or £60 at the moment, I'd hesitate to recommend it to someone for that price.
Yeah.
If you happen to come across it cheaper, it's worth a punt if you're looking for just a quirky thing to try. But yeah, I'd struggle to give it a glowing recommendation. I enjoyed it. But yeah, it's definitely an acquired taste, I think. I get it if you can find it cheap, but I wouldn't stress too much if you have to skip it.
That's good though. It's good to look at these quirky, unusual games that don't really get much spotlight, and to try them out, see if there's, because you can often find some really good hidden gems like that.
So I mean, I love games like this. I like Tekken and Grand Theft Auto and Halo and Forza and all these. I like that as much as everyone else does, but I really love games like this where they're just really quirky, weird ideas that you just couldn't do in any other medium.
No.
You couldn't. You couldn't do it as a film. You couldn't do it as a book. You couldn't. It's just someone had this weird idea about let's do something with a video game about dominoes, and they kept adding little ideas to it until they came up with this game. And I just love little quirky, obscure games like this. So
cool. All right. Thank you for bringing that to all of our attentions. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do my pick at the end of the episode, I think, because up next is the moment you've been waiting for. You've been waiting for this all year,
and it's not the end of the show, which you
haven't been waiting for that all year. No, no, it's the Podemup Awards 2021. I actually had to think of what year it was then.
They all merge now, don't they?
They all merge together. Yeah. But yeah, after the break,
let's do it.
Let's find out which was the best game of the year.
the Podemup Awards.
Welcome back. It's the Podemup Awards 2021. Yes, if you've no idea what we're talking about, basically, all the episodes that we've done this year, most of them we've done a book club pick, like Mr. Domino. We're going to choose our favourites between all of those picks through a system that is completely unchanged from last year to make a change. So we've got several categories here. Each of us is going to assign 2 points to one of the games that we feel best meets that category, plus 1 point to a runner-up. So a total of 6 points per category are available. And then we've got a favourite award where we give 3 points, 2 points and 1 point to our favourite 3 games, plus there's a listener award which does the same thing as well.
Yep.
So let's get started. The nominees are Walker on the Amiga, Bug Snacks for modern systems, Lollipop Chainsaw for 360 and PS3, Sayonara Wild Hearts for modern systems, Poiny's Point for PS2, The Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap on Game Boy Advance, Lemmings on the Amiga and various other systems, Lemmings 2 The Tribes, Amiga and slightly fewer systems, Lemmings Mobile, Mischief Makers for Nintendo 64, and of course No One Can Stop Mr. Domino on PS1. So, those are our nominees.
A fine selection.
Yeah, an eclectic selection, I would say. Quite a varied mix. You know, we've got a bit of retro in there, got some good representation for modern stuff, and some quirky titles in there.
Yeah,
it's good.
I think it's going to be. It's not going to. It's going to be difficult to predict how it goes this year. I
was just telling you in the break. I still don't have a favourite. I've got 3 games that I can't decide which is my favourites, and my points are distributed mostly towards those 3 games, and they're really tight.
Okay.
There is an overall winner in those points, but I don't know if it's my overall favourite. So, and I just going by my thing, it's really hard to call. In all the previous years, there's usually been one standout.
There's been one standout
that I can tell coming.
Okay,
is
going to
win.
be that.
This time, I genuinely don't know.
No.
I thought I did. There was one that I thought would do it, but I've been thinking about it the last few days, and actually there's 2 more that I like just as much. I really don't know what's going to happen, basically. So I'm really excited, actually.
Yeah.
This is going to be a lot more interesting. So let's get to the categories, shall we?
Mm-hmm. So
first one is the graphics award.
Okay.
So this is the best graphics relative to the system the game is on. So your runner-up, what would you give 1 point to?
My runner-up is going to be Walker.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
Right.
Purely because I love the old pixel art styles.
Yeah.
And I think for the time, because it is a relative award.
Yeah.
There's definitely games that we played this year that obviously have better graphics, but for the time, I think it was just really detailed sprite work, the backgrounds, the animation on the little robot. I think it just did a really good job of pushing the Amiga comparatively to other games that were out at the time. I think it's great, and I just really like that style. So, 1 point to Walker.
Yeah. It's certainly got an interesting style to it. I think as far as Amiga goes, because I'm not so familiar with that system, it was hard to know whether it was good for the Amiga or not for me. But certainly things impressed. I like the 3D robot head. I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah.
And the little guys.
And you get the little horse carriages going up. And
yeah, there's a lot of detail there.
Yeah.
So, I can totally see that, yeah. So my 1 point has actually gone to Sayonara Wild Hearts, because I really like the sort of the art style to it. I thought that sort of minimalistic look, but lots of sort of dazzling effects on there. Just worked really well.
It's a gorgeous game.
It's a gorgeous looking game. So that's got my 1 point for sort of fairly self-explanatory reasons. I would say. Yeah. So what got your 2 points?
My 2 points go to Zelda: The Minish Cap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same for me. Yeah.
I just, I gushed about how much I loved the art style when we reviewed it, and nothing's changed. The animations are so expressive, it's so bright and colourful, and I love the pixel art style. It's top notch. I can't can't
Yeah.
say good enough things about it.
Yeah, the sort of the detail on the when you sort of shrink down into those little worlds to see these leaves and things,
Yeah.
in great detail was really cool.
It's really cool, and considering it's on the Game Boy Advance,
Yeah,
so it's a relatively underpowered system, but it really holds its own, compared to some of the really top end
yeah,
16-bit games.
yeah. It does. I think
It's
it's
fantastic.
probably one of the best looking Game Boy Advance games. I
Oh,
think, definitely.
without a doubt.
Yeah. So the next category is the music award.
Okay.
What did you give 1 point to
Um,
for music?
this one I really had difficulty with this one. It's kind
Mm.
of a what my heart says and what my head says.
Okay.
And really, I'm gonna. I guess it's a draw for them, but I have to pick a runner-up and I have to pick a winner. So the runner-up is going to be Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Is it? Oh
Yeah.
wow. Oh, that's a shocker. That is.
I know,
I
I know, and
I
I
am
agonised.
so surprised by that.
I agonised over it, and like I say, if I'm voting with my head, Sayonara Wild Hearts would be the winner. That would
Okay.
get the points. But
Yeah.
I got to vote with my heart on this one. I think so.
Oh right.
It's
Okay.
gonna be. I love it, and like I say, it's so close. It's so.
Yeah.
But I have to pick one to the other, so I'm gonna stick with it. I'm not gonna flip flop. I'm gonna say Sayonara Wild Hearts is my runner up.
Okay. I mean, you could give 1.5 to each if you wanted to.
This is a new rule.
Well, I'm just thinking I might do the same later on.
Okay.
Splitting them. So because sometimes these decisions are really, really difficult this year. So I think because so many different points are going so many different things and they'll all add up anyway. I think if you're really, really torn, I think you can split it if you want to.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you're going to do it anyway,
I think I might do it anyway later on. And I wouldn't like to do it then and just not give you the option earlier on.
I was going to say, in the interest of fairness, then
Yeah.
I'll split it and I'll give 1.5 points to Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Okay, and what's the other one?
It's going to be Lemmings.
Of course, Lemmings. Of
'Cause it's-
course, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it's
you
got
love the Lemmings. You do love the Lemmings soundtrack.
I
don't you?
love
Yeah.
the Lemmings soundtrack. It's got a
Of course.
huge nostalgia kick for me. A lot
Yeah.
of good memories attached to
I
playing it.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
and it was that whole, like I say, it was head versus heart, and it
Yeah.
was really, I just couldn't choose. So I'm going to give 1.5 points to each of those.
Okay.
What's your choices?
Yeah. Sorry, I just got to write down the complicated half notation. So, my 1 point was Zelda Minish Cap.
Mm.
I thought it had some really nice tunes in there. Some of them are sort of standard Zelda tunes that appear in lots of games and are great anyway. But I think that they had some really nice versions of those tunes, and just a good soundtrack. I thought for the Game Boy Advance certainly, and just in general, I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
My 2 points actually go to Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Yeah.
Just because it fits the gameplay so well, and it really is a game. A soundtrack that you can play, isn't it? So
It's on regular rotation.
Yeah.
I haven't touched the game for quite a while now, but I still regularly listen to the soundtrack. It's superb.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, very good. So level design, and this doesn't necessarily have to be, as we said before in previous years, doesn't have to be levels as such. It's sort of gameplay design. Depends what the content of the game and how sort of clever it is and how well designed it is, really. So, what did you give 1 point to?
I gave 1 point to No One Can Stop Mr. Domino.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because of, I know we've discussed its difficulty and everything that we've just discussed withstanding. I love the chain reactions when they work, and I love that that kind of design where you can trigger one thing. These little chain reactions go. I love it. It didn't work as well as it could have done, and like I say, everything that we've said in the review still stands. But in terms of level design and like the kernel of the gameplay, really, that I like it. So I'm going to give 1 point to Mr. Domino.
I think that's fair. Yep.
What about you?
My 1 point goes to, what did I write? Lollipop Chainsaw.
Oh yeah, nice.
Because I thought it just had some really cool ideas in there. I particularly love that arcadey kind of level where it suddenly drops you in a Pong game, or like in a Pong field where this big ball was bouncing around. You had to avoid it. And then what else was it? There's elevator action returns. It just jumped to these different arcade games, and I thought that was brilliant. And then the rest of the game as well just had so many nice ideas between like the sort of the regular hack and slash stuff. And I just thought it was brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that gets my 1 point.
Yeah, great choice.
So your 2 points?
2 points goes to Lemmings.
Yeah. Okay.
I suppose in the same sort of way. I mean, it's not chain reactions in the same sense as Mr. Domino, but it's got that same kind. When you actually get a level, when you crack it, when you realise what it wants you to do,
yes.
and you've figured it out, you build a ladder up here, and then you dig a hole down there, and you block here, and then you've got to blow up a thing here, and it all works. It's incredibly satisfying, and particularly as the levels get more difficult, there's so much thought that's gone into creating these levels and these little set pieces that you have to work out. I think it's just great level design. So Lemmings for me.
I can see that. Even though overall I didn't like the game that much.
No, you didn't.
In the brief levels that I did enjoy, I could definitely see that. It's like that eureka moment. Oh, that's how I do it, and
exactly.
And it goes off. So I can totally see that. Yeah, cool.
Cool.
So my 2 points go to Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Okay, yeah. Good.
I thought the levels were really cool in this game. Just so fun. I love that level where you had the twins clicking their fingers and it changed the layout, and you had to look ahead to see what was coming while it was there. And then you had the sort of the more arcadey game one where it was like asteroids kind of style, and I just there's so many different ways of changing how you manipulate a character in an area with the same sort of controls, how you dodge obstacles, but so many different ways of doing it, and I thought it was just brilliant.
Yeah,
really loved the gameplay in that game. So that gets my 2 points.
Yeah, 2 points well earned.
Yeah. So we move on to the character award, the Podemup Classic Character Award, where we assign a points to a particular character who belongs to a game. Sorry if my throat's going. I've not been particularly well recently, but you have to bear with me, I'm afraid. Right. So, which character got your first point? Your 1 point?
So the 1 point, my runner-up went to Juliet Starling.
Okay.
From Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah.
I just think she's funny. She's great.
Yeah.
I was tempted to give I knew it was going to be a character from Lollipop Chainsaw. I was tempted to give it to Nick, but he doesn't really do anything. But he's got all the best lines. But
yeah.
but I think the majority of the time you're playing, the whole time you're playing as Juliet. So Juliet gets my character award runner-up.
Okay. My runner-up goes to Shelda from Bugsnax.
Oh.
Who, if you remember, was that sort
the
of
hippie one.
The hippie one that spoke in like what's it called, metaphors and things, and claimed that you must leave the Bugsnax alone, you must not eat them, and then clearly ate them when no one was looking.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was brilliant. That's so funny.
You must leave them in this box.
Yeah, leave them in this box. Don't touch them. They will magically disappear. They will not be eaten by me when you're not looking. And I mean, that game was full of great characters, wasn't it?
Oh, it was, yeah.
And
it was.
it really shone in that department. So it was actually quite difficult to pick a character. I knew I was going to pick a character from that game, but it was quite difficult to pick which one. But I think I settled on Shelda in the end, just for that sort of, contradiction. It was great.
Yeah.
Really good. Go on then. So, were your 2 points?
Well, my 2 points also goes to Bugsnax Grumpus. I went to Filbo Fiddlepie. Okay.
Which one was he? I can't remember.
He's the mayor.
Oh, he's the mayor. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, he's great as well, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's just a fun character.
Yeah, he's just so sweet and innocent.
Yeah.
He just really wants to bring everyone back together, even though no one wants to. And he's just so optimistic.
Yeah.
in the face of tremendous adversity. It's just it's
And he's got
heartening.
his little sash with Nair written on it
Love his
really
sash,
badly,
yeah.
and
And you discovered that he's got loads of them.
he's got loads of them hanging up on like a little washing line. I just love him.
What a brilliant detail that is. Yeah,
yeah, it's great.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, that game is so strong in characters.
I was going to say, it's like you said, there's so many good characters in that game. So it had characters. The minute the character category came up, I immediately thought Bugsnax. So
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, for me, there was only two really. It was Bugsnax and Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah.
My 2 points have actually gone into Lollipop Chainsaw. I've actually
right.
chosen a combination of Juliet and Nick. I've cheated a bit, but I suppose it doesn't matter because they still go to the same game.
Yeah.
I just love the dynamic between them.
Yeah.
Her, endless optimism and his extreme pessimism, given that his head chopped off and that's all that's left of him, dangling around on her belt, and it was so funny. It really brightened up the levels. Well, not that they needed brightening up, but it was just it really added another layer. Because normally with voice acting during levels, it's a bit tedious, but this was done so well. It's one of the best examples I've seen of voice acting during levels to bring it out a bit and make it more interesting.
It's so great, and some of the best bits are like for me are like the really understated bits. It's not like really. Like, he's got some really nice one-liners throughout the thing, but there's other bits where, Juliet will say something, he just goes, huh? What? He's not paying attention to anything.
Yeah. And just... that level where he just gets really, really down about everything.
I
he's
know.
Yeah,
great.
Fantastic. So, a kind of a similar award, the Charm Award.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your 1 point for Charm?
Again, I really had difficulty with this one. Because there's so many. We played quite a few games that I would consider charming. And looking at my choices now, I really.
It's I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm not going to do another 1.5. I'm tempted to,
okay.
But no. I'm going to give my runner up to. I'm going to give it to Pointy's Point.
Okay. Yeah, that was a very charming game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just great. I love the Cartman Point. I'm going to call him because he's just called Point, isn't he?
He is Cartman. He's basically Cartman.
He's just Cartman. And I love the design of Jellytown and the little eclairs that run about. I just love it. It's just a charming environment, nice, lovely, and I like it.
Yeah. It was a very charming game.
Yeah.
Charming characters. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
My 1 point has gone to. It sounds weird to say, but it's gone to Lollipop Chainsaw.
Okay.
Because a game you wouldn't think a game about slashing up zombies could be charming, but just the way. I mean, it's basically the same thing as I just said for the character. It's charming, even though the imagery is so grotesque and disgusting.
Yeah.
It's just the way, the context in which it's presented.
Yeah,
exactly. Was just charming. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going back, another game that you weren't too keen on, but Medieval. If you were to describe Medieval in just pure aesthetic terms, it's just charming isn't a word that would spring to mind, but it is charming in its own way. So
yes,
that's
right.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's that comedic touch. If it uses comedy, then there's a lot of charm to it automatically, I think. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's why I've gone for that. And your 2 points for charm goes to.
It's gonna be Bugsnax.
Yeah, me too. It's got to be, really, isn't it?
I mean,
it's probably definitely the most charming game that we played this year.
Yeah, definitely, without doubt. I love the design of all the Grumpuses. I love all the little designs of the Bugsnax. I still randomly go around going bunga bunga bunga. So
yeah,
it's just great. It's just charming.
Oh yeah, the Bugsnax themselves are great. The characters are great. Yeah, great, charming game. So the next award is innovation. So this is where a game, I can't. My mind and my throat are just failing me at the moment. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Right, innovation is innovation, isn't it? It's like it's when you're not doing the same thing. It's like loads of new ideas.
Yeah.
It's great.
You're bringing something new to the table.
Bringing something new to the table. You're really breaking outside the box, thinking outside the box, whatever the term is. Stop me talking. What's your 1 point for innovation?
My 1 point for innovation, again, goes to No One Can Stop Mr. Domino.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
would. It's a very innovative
it's a
idea.
very
I
innovative game.
I can't think of a single game that is anywhere near like it, really.
Yeah, that's exactly my thoughts on it, really. You know, execution-wise, it might not have been,
It's refined, yeah.
as refined, but in terms of its core idea, I think it's one of the most innovative games that we've covered. So
Yeah.
take a point, Mr. Domino.
Take a point, Mr. Domino. Can't stop him from taking a point.
No.
My 1 point has gone to Mischief Makers.
Oh, okay.
I thought similar to Mr. Domino, it wasn't the most refined experience, but the level designs. I mean, I could have given it to a level design award, to be honest, but I thought for the time, some of the ideas in the levels and the new ideas that it came up with were quite innovative, really, and the fact that it kept changing things every level. No two levels were the same, really, and I just thought it was just generally quite innovative with its sort of design approach.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
They found lots of different ways of doing things that with the grab mechanic and shaking it. So I thought it was quite good, innovative.
Yeah.
So your 2 points for innovation?
My 2 points for innovation goes to Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Yeah, I've got that as well for innovation. Yeah.
Because I suppose you could look at it and say, on a purely surface level, it's not the first sort of on-rail shooter game that there's been. It's not the first musical game that there's been. But I think in terms of innovation, the way it's basically an album that you play. The music, and the only other game that I think has integrated music into itself, into the core gameplay, knitted together so integrally, if that's even a word, would be Rez.
Yes.
But even Rez, I don't think Rez is an album. I think Rez is more of
It's kind of a bit more experimental, I would say.
Yeah,
it's
a bit
kind
more
of like,
experimental.
it's almost about you creating the music, isn't it? In that one?
Yeah, precisely. But I think with Sayonara Wild Hearts, it's just like a full-length album that you play, but the songs complement the gameplay, and the gameplay all meshes together so well. And it's all it's a really innovative way of approaching a musical game.
Yeah, there are a few other games that merge music and the visuals so perfectly. You couldn't imagine it being any different, really.
No, I think it's definitely one of the most innovative approaches to certainly to sort of rhythm action games, if you could call it that, or musical games. So brilliant.
Yep, I'm not going to add anything to that because I probably shouldn't. Next award is kind of supposed to be the opposite of that. This is the Archetype Award. This is the award you give to the best sort of bread and butter example of the game of its genre. It doesn't necessarily break the mold, but it just does things so well, that are quite well established. So what was your 1 point?
My 1 point went to Lemmings.
Yep.
For just being, what is one of the first things I personally think of when someone says the term puzzle game. Lemmings is one of the first things that springs to mind, and I think that's the definition of what this award is for, really. I can't say more than that.
No, yeah. I went for Lollipop Chainsaw.
Okay.
Just because I thought it was a great example of a sort of a beat 'em up hack and slash 3D game like that. Really, I think it had a lot of innovative ideas as well, but its core gameplay, the combo system was really good, really satisfying. The visuals kind of blended with that really nicely. So yeah, it was just I thought it worked as that genre worked really well.
Yeah.
Your 2 points?
My 2 points go to Zelda the Minish Cap.
Yeah, same for me as well. Yeah. It's just, I mean, I can say that comparing it to other Zeldas as well, having played them, it's a perfect Zelda. It's just a perfect RPG.
Yeah.
Action RPG. It's structured so well. I can't. My thoughts are failing me. What? Anything else to add to that?
No, it's like you say. If you're looking for, if the award is intended for a game that perfectly exemplifies that particular genre or that particular style,
yeah.
If someone asked you, so What's an RPG game like then? What is an RPG game? You could point them to this, and it's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Graphically, musically, gameplay wise, everything is there. It's a textbook RPG done really, perfectly well.
Yep, brilliant game. So before we get to our favourites, we've got the listener award. We put it out on Twitter, and we got some votes in to determine 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. So
Okay.
the 1 point from the listeners went to Sayonara Wild Hearts. The 2 points went to Lollipop Chainsaw,
Mm.
and the 3 points went to Lemmings.
Oh, good. That's a surprise.
Yeah.
A pleasant
I mean,
surprise, but
I'm not going to say we had loads of votes, but we had enough to get a consensus.
the number of votes, we keep things strictly confidential for
We do.
for the privacy of our voters, so
Of course.
whether it was 3 votes or 30,000, it's not for us to say.
It's the quality of the votes that counts.
Absolutely,
That's
yeah.
the important thing, and these were from some top people.
Absolutely, the creme de la creme of,
Creme de la
of the
creme of
Twitter
listeners.
audience, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So our favourite awards.
Okay.
I'm still a bit undecided about the favourite award, I must admit. I've got 3 games that I really loved,
Okay.
and I don't know the order of them at all. I literally cannot put them in order. I like them all really, I think, equally.
Okay.
I'm just going to list all 3 of them, and I think I'm going to give them all 2 points. Because I just can't narrow... I'm sorry, but I just can't narrow it down anymore.
Okay.
I don't think I can. Can I? I don't know. Can I?
I don't know, giving them all 2 points feels like you're putting your thumb on the scales a little bit here.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a cop-out. Why don't you... I'll tell you what. You do your 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, and I'll see if for some reason in that time I can decide at least a winner,
Okay.
So go on then. What was your 1 point?
My 1 point went to Lemmings.
Okay.
I had a great time revisiting it. Again, it's a game I got a lot of nostalgia for. I can't say anything more about it than that I haven't already said.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Lemmings gets my 1 point. My second point, my 2 points, sorry, goes to Bug Snacks.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the time I spent with it. I wanted it to carry on a bit longer than it did. I didn't necessarily at the time, but I remember wishing there was some DLC and wishing it's just a world that I enjoyed exploring, so I wanted to go back and do a bit more than that. I love the characters, I love the design of the Bug Snacks themselves, and it's just a great time all round.
Yeah.
And my overall favourite of the year,
Drum roll.
it's going to be Lollipop Chainsaw.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
It really is.
Yeah. It's
I just
a
had so much fun
brilliant
with
game,
it. Yeah, it's
Mm.
just so much fun. Lots of laugh out loud moments. The action is really. It's simple to pick up, but there's lots of intricacies with the combos and stuff if you want to get into it, if you really want to go in depth with it.
Yeah.
It's got that same kind of satisfaction you get when you can chain a bunch of combos together, hop over a zombie, chop off a few heads. Yeah, I think when I look back at the games I had the most fun with, I would say Lollipop Chainsaw was my overall. But like you, there's so many games I could have picked on there.
Yeah, it's been a really difficult decision. A lot of these awards in general, but this one particularly for me. So the 3 games I'm considering, I'll tell you them now.
Okay.
Lollipop Chainsaw is one of them.
Yeah.
Zelda is another one.
Yep.
And Sayonara Wild Hearts is the
I
third
knew that
one.
would be the
Yeah, I love them all. I love them all so much, and I don't know. I find it so difficult for some reason to pick because they've all got their different strengths, haven't they?
They have, yeah.
And they're all completely different games. I'm trying not to look at the points and seeing who needs more points because that.
No. You got to go.
To be fair, it's really hard to looking at these marks. It's really hard to determine which is standing out. I don't think there's one. There's not a single one that's reaching out above the others. I think. Oh God. There's something inside me that's leaning towards Sayonara Wild Hearts above the other 2.
Got to vote with your heart.
I suppose I have to, haven't I? If there's only one, if it's stalemate and there's only one reaching out to do that, then I think I've got to listen to it, haven't I?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can find the order for the other 2. I'm tempted to give what is it? 3 points to Sayonara Wild Hearts, and then 1.5 to the other two. Would you say that's fair?
I'd say that's fair.
Okay, I'm going to write that down.
Like you say, they're three really great games.
Yeah.
And if you can't narrow them down on a technicality, on something objective, then you just have to.
You got to lean
go with your
towards.
gut.
Yeah, and I think Sayonara Wild Hearts. There's just something about that gameplay that really spoke to me. It's sort of a visceral thing. It's it's not a long game. It's not a very deep game. But it's just that adrenaline rush you get when you play it is like nothing else, and that's those when you speak about that, you speak about my favourite sort of games, really, in my history of gaming, and it's got to go for that, really. As much as charming as Lollipop Chainsaw is, and as sort of complex and so well honed as Zelda is, I've got to go for that. I think.
I think that's fair. I think that's a just winner.
Yeah, and I think a fourth one would be Bug Snacks if I had to pick a fourth, because that's such a good game.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to need a minute to tot all this up.
Okay, you do it.
I could go anyway. There's like several games here that.
I think it's best when it's like that, though. It's more exciting, and this is the most exciting we've had in all the years. Because in all the other ones, I think the first two in particular were just complete walkovers. It was obvious, like when we played the game of that year, we both kind of knew, okay, this is going to sweep all the points.
Yeah, and to be honest, when we were doing Zelda, I thought that might be it.
So did I, yeah.
But then I was thinking about the other two, and I'm thinking, no, actually, I think I like them just as much. Anyway. Give me a minute.
You carry on.
Okay, right. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
So, I'll go through them all.
Okay.
So, there were 2 games that did not get any points. That was Lemmings 2 and, unsurprisingly, Lemmings Mobile. Lemmings 2, I think it's just... If we did it on its own without Lemmings, I think it would have had maybe picked up a couple of points.
Yeah.
It's unfair. It's kind of unfair in that it was mixed in with its sort of better predecessor.
Lemmings 2 was more... It was there as a sort of a compare and contrast with the original Lemmings, really. But, it gets an honourable mention.
It does, yeah. Mobile probably doesn't, does it? Really? No. With 1 point each, we had Walker, Pointy's Point, and Mischief Makers.
Okay.
With 2 points, we got No One Can Stop Mr. Domino. Well done, Domino. And then it's a fairly big jump up to the next ones. So with 8.5 points is Lemmings. And that's in what position? 2, 3, 4, 5th position.
Okay.
With 9 points is Bug Snacks. So in 3rd place, 10.5 points, Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap.
That's a surprise. I thought
it is a surprise.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. With 12.5 points, in 2nd place, Lollipop Chainsaw. 1st place, our winner, 14.5 points, Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Very well deserved.
Yeah, I think so. I think if
looking back at the list of games, those are the 3 that I expected to be most near the top.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Bug Snacks, I thought, but
I think a worthy sort of 4th place, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Lollipop, Sayonara, Zelda, I think that's...
It sort of all worked out as I kind of... Those top 3, and I wasn't sure which order they'd come in.
I wasn't sure what order they'd be coming in. I thought Zelda would probably be a bit higher, but I think there's still that's 3 great games.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's been such a hard call. This really exciting, actually.
Yeah.
I hope you, the listener, are as excited as we have been during this last half hour or whatever we spent on this.
Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations to our winner of 2021, Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Cause
As always, we extend the invitation that if you contact us, we'll give you a trophy, an actual physical trophy. No one takes us up on the offer, but we mean it.
No. I think it was a Simogo. Am I thinking right? Was the name of the company?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it was.
Yeah,
if it wasn't, I'll edit that out. But Simogo,
we'll check it before we make the trophy anyway, so don't worry
we'll
about
double
that.
check.
Don't worry about that.
Better double check
We've
that.
got Wikipedia open right now. It's fine. We'll sort it.
That's right, yeah. Okay, well that was entertaining end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, a good year of selection, Sarah. I think.
I think so. Yeah, there's some real good ones there.
Yeah, I really hope. The upcoming year, let's try and make sure. The word you used was eclectic. I think that's if we can keep a nice eclectic selection, I think we should a good year to come.
Yes, definitely. I'm going to kick it off.
Let's do it. I keep saying let's do it. That's because it's bugging me now. I keep saying every time you say something, I say let's do it.
I hadn't noticed, to be honest.
Oh, it's driving me. I've just noticed. I'm not going to cut them all out. Put something else in.
All right. I'll cut.
Right.
I'll take something from another episode that just seems really out of place.
Really out of place.
Okay. Right. Anyway, so we're going to kick off 2022. Which sounds weird just saying it. 2022.
I know.
That's just, it's a mouthful anyway, but just the fact that we're there. Anyway, won't go into that. So, 2022 is going to kick off with a bit of a classic, actually.
Okay.
So, we're going back to My Christmas 1995. This was a game I got for the Sega Mega Drive. It's a racing game, which we haven't done very much of at all on the podcast.
Oh.
It's got a year in the title that is actually the following year. It's top-down. It's got 2 extra control ports in it, in the cartridge. It's Micro Machines Turbo Tournament 96.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. See, whenever I play it, I load it up quite a lot, and I'm never any good at it. I always fall off the edge. I just don't have the commitment lately. So I want to just sit down and play this properly and see if I can actually, win some races.
Yeah. I played so many hours of this back in the day.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
I used to love the 96 version, did you?
Yeah, the 96 version with the track editor.
The track editor was brilliant, wasn't it?
Love it. Yeah, so that's a great choice.
So I thought I'd kick us off with a safe pair of hands. Why not? So that's the game we're going to be playing in January in our first episode 2022. That's episode 40. We hope you can join us for that. And thank you for joining us for this one and for all the episodes that you've joined us in this year. We've I can't believe we've done a 4th year of this, really.
I know, that's mental, isn't it?
It's crazy, yeah. We've done so many games. I've worked out earlier that we've done, because of the way episodes have worked out, and we haven't always done a book club in the episode, but sometimes we've done more than one, it actually works out exactly the same number of episodes that we've done in terms of games that we've played. So we've done 39 games so far.
Yeah.
On Podemup, which sounds crazy, doesn't it?
That does. That does.
Yeah.
Well, let's make it to episode 100.
Yep.
And then we'll do like a super award ceremony.
Yeah, we could put in all of the award winners and do a super...
Oh, yeah, like a tournament of champions.
Tournament of champions, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
That's brilliant.
Yes. We've got 4 of them so far, haven't we?
Yeah.
Ghost Trick, Undertale, Katamari, and Sayonara Wild Hearts. Creme de la creme of Podemup.
Oh, that's going to be... you look forward to that in... Well, when we're episode 100 be 2027.
Probably something like that, yeah. 2 years away yet, but yeah.
Well, you got to hype it. You got to build the hype,
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
Get hype.
Yeah. Yeah, so it should be a good year. I want this year, at some point, I want you to surprise me with a Kirby game. That is your challenge.
Oh, yeah. I've already got one picked out that we're going to cover this year.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Brilliant. That's good. And I've also got an idea for March. All right? I'm going to run it past you later.
Okay.
So, Podemup is our name of our podcast, not to be confused with the Swedish doppelgangers.
No.
We are podemup.live on the interwebs. We are
domain
Podemup.
Fully renewed and
Fully renewed and ready to go.
ready and online.
At Podemup on Twitter, podemup@gmail.com, and something else. twitch.tv/podemup.
Yeah.
I might play a bit of Micro Machines on it, you never know.
I might, I might play a bit of Astrobot with a working microphone.
Yes, you finally played some Astrobot.
I
wasn't it?
know.
I think it was even before the last episode, the previous episode, wasn't it?
It might have been, yeah. It might have been before the previous episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
finally played some, and I plugged in a USB microphone. You can't have the PSVR and a USB microphone plugged in at the same time. I don't know why. It just won't let you. Just
So
says you can't
how are you
do
going to
it.
do it then?
I'm just gonna have to get a just a normal 3.5mm jack microphone. Like,
Oh, right, out of the
from like
controller.
yeah. It came with one in the box somewhere. I don't know where it is. But they're kind of crummy, those ones. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I might just have to plug it in and do it with that. But I will try to, because it's a good fun game, and I want people
I
to,
looked it,
to see it.
yeah. I saw bits of it. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's weird to see it on the screen because sometimes he looks so far away, and it's like,
Yeah.
how do you know what you're doing? But I guess in VR,
VR,
it's almost like he's on the table.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. The scale of it is so much different in VR. It's one of those things that doesn't really translate when you see VR games being played on like YouTube and stuff. You don't really get
No, I can imagine. Yeah,
the overall feel of it.
something you have to experience yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, okay. Well, let's wrap it up for the year then. And
Yeah.
we'll
Have a great Christmas period, everyone.
Yeah.
I hope you're all safe and well. See your family and stuff safely, and we'll see you in the new year.
Yep.
Have a
See
great
you
one.
next year.
Bye-bye. Bye.
I can still recall trudging through the cold December snow. We didn't know that it was the end.
do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I keep saying let's do it. Every time you say something, I say let's do it. Cut them all out.